So today I want to talk about Vivekananda biography, and I want to say that Vivekananda biography about Swami Vivekananda, Bengali family, and birth in 12 January 1863 and death 4 July 902. Born Narendranath Dutt, Bengali family. Was an Indian Hindu monk, philosopher, and author. He was a chief disciple of the 19th century Indian mystic uh, Ramakrishna. Influenced by Western historicism, he was a key figure in the introduction of the Indian darshans, teaching practice of Vedanta and yoga of the Western world, and is credited with rising interfaith awareness, bringing Hinduism to the status of a major world religion during the late 19th century. He was a major force in the contemporary Hindu reform movement in India and contributed to the concept of nationalism in colonial India. Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Mutt and the Ramakrishna Mission. He is perhaps best known for his speech, which began with the words Sister and Brothers of America, in which he introduced Hinduism at the Parliament of the World's Religion in Chicago in 1893. Born into an aristocratic Bengali caste family of Calcutta, Vivekananda was inclined toward spirituality. He was influenced by his Guru Ramakrishna, from whom he learned that all living beings were an embodiment of the divine self. Therefore, service to God could be rendered by service to humankind. After Ramakrishna's death, Vivekananda toured the Indian subcontinent extensively and acquired first-hand knowledge of the conditions prevailing in British India. He later traveled to the United States representing India at 1893 Parliament of the World's Religion. Vivekananda conducted hundreds of public and private lectures and classes disseminating tenets of Hindu philosophy in the United States, England, and Europe and India. Vivekananda is regarded as a patriotic saint, and his birthday is celebrated as National Youth Day, 12th January, and his birthday is 12th January. Early life. I wanted to say that early life, 1863 to 1888. Vivekananda was born Narendranath Dutt, shortened to Narendra or Naren, in a Bengali family at his ancestral home at Gurmohan Mukherjee Street in Kolkata, the capital of British India, on 12 January 1863 during the Makar Sankranti festival. He belonged to a traditional family and was one of the nine siblings. His father Vishwanath Dutt was an attorney at the Calcutta High Court. Durga Charan Datta, Narendra's grandfather was a Sanskrit and Persian scholar who left his family and became a monk at age 25. His mother Bhuvneshwari Devi was a devout housewife. The progressive, rational attitude of Narendra's father and the religious temperament of his mother helped shape his thinking and personality. Narendra Dutt was interested in spirituality from a young age and used to meditate before the image of deities such as Shiva, Rama, Sita, and Mahavir. He was fascinated by wandering ascetics and monks. Narendra was naughty and restless as a child, and his parents often had difficulty controlling him. His mother said, I prayed to Shiva for a son, and he had sent me one of his demons. I want to talk about Vivekananda education. In 1871, at the age of 8, Rendranath enrolled at Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's Metropolitan Institution, where he went to school until his family moved to Raipur in 1877. In 1829, after his family's return to Kolkata, he was the only student to receive first division marks in the Presidency College entrance examination. He was an avid reader in a wide range of subjects, including philosophy, religion, history, social science, art, and literature. He was also interested in Hindu scriptures, including the Vedas, the Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purans. Narendra was trained in Indian classical music and regularly participated in physical exercise, sports, and organized activity. Narendra studied Western logic, Western philosophy, and European history at the General Assembly Institution, now known as the Scottish Church College. In 1881, he passed the Fine Arts examination and completed a Bachelor of Arts degree. 1884, Narendra studied the works of David Hume, Immanuel Kant, John Gottlieb Fichte, Bruce Spinoza, George Hegel, Arthur Schopenhauer, Auguste Comte, John Stuart Mill, and Charles Darwin. He became fascinated with the evolutionism of Herbert Spencer and correspondence with him, translating Herbert Spencer's book Education 1861 into Bengali. While studying Western philosophy, he also learned Sanskrit scriptures and Bengali literature. William Hastie principal of Christian College, Calcutta, from where Narendra graduated, wrote, Narendra is really a genius. I have traveled far and wide, but I have never come across a lad of his talents and possibility. Even in German university, among philosophical students, he is bound to make his mark in life. Nenda was known for his prodigious memory and the ability at speed reading. Several incidents have been given an example in a talk he once quoted verbatim 2 or 3 pages from Pickwick Papers. Another incident that is given is his argument with a Swedish national where he gave reference to some details on Swedish history that the Swede originally disagreed with but later considered in another incident. With Dr. Paul Dusan at Kiel in Germany, Vivekananda was going over some poetical work and did not reply when the professor spoke to him. Later, he apologized to Dr. Dusan, explaining that he was too absorbed in reading and hence did not hear him. The professor was not satisfied with this explanation, but Vivekananda quoted in interrupted verses from the text, leaving the professor dumbfounded about his feat of memory. Once he requested some books written by Sir John Lubbock from a library and returned them the very next day, claiming that he had read them. The librarian refused and believed him until cross-examination about the content convinced him that Vivekananda was being truthful. Some account has called Narendra Srutidhara, person with prodigious memory. Spiritual apprenticeship influence of Brahmo Samaj. In 1880, Narendra joined Kesav Chandra Sen Navavidhan, which was established by son after meeting Ramakrishna and reconverting from Christianity to Hinduism. Narendra became a member of a Freemasonry lodge at some point before 1884 and the Sadharan Brahmo Samaj. In his 20s, a breakaway faction of the Brahmo Samaj led by Kesav Chandra Sen and Devendranath Tagore. 1881 to 1884, he was also activity in Saint Band of Hope, which tried to discourage youth from smoking and drinking. It was in this milieu that Narendra became acquainted with Western Stoicism. His initial beliefs were shaped by Brahmo concept, which denounce polytheism, and the caste restriction, and a streamlined, rationalized, monotheistic theology strongly colored by a selective and modernistic reading of the Upanishads and of the Vedanta. Founder of the Brahmo Samaj was strongly influenced by Unitarianism, strove towards a universalistic interpretation interpretation of Hinduism. His ideas were altered considerably. Devendranath Tagore, who had a romantic approach to the development of these new doctrines and questions central Hindu beliefs like reincarnation and come and rejected the authority of the Veda. Same search for direct institution and understanding can be seen with Vivekananda. Not satisfied with his knowledge of philosophy, Narendra comes to question which mark the real beginning of his intellectual God for gods. Founding first Ramakrishna Mutt, Brahmin.